Hey guys, in this video I'm going to do quantum immortality. It is theory that is booming on TikTok at the moment, that you cannot die. I've experienced this theory first person, and let's break it down and let me show you how to experience that you are immortal, so you don't have to take my word for it. And then let's also talk about how you are actually physically immortal, in a sense that you can sustain your physical body for centuries. First of all, welcome, my name is Jovan, you're watching Avatar Academy. If you are into enlightenment, quantum shifting and all this kind of like magical stuff, subscribe to my channel. Quantum immortality. People say there are multiple timelines, and when you die in one timeline, you just actually continue living in another timeline. Okay, and this happened on a collective level with the Mandela effect. This is something that everybody noticed, how Nelson Mandela was dead in the 90s, but then he died again in the 2000s, and it was like, hey, dude, didn't you like already die in the last century? How is now everybody experiencing that you're just dying again? And it became like a global theme, because this is the first time that everybody else in that timeline witnessed somebody who was supposed to be dead continuing to live. Now, this is a glitch in the matrix where there is a cross interference of timelines, and now people are seeing like two different realities. Okay, so if you haven't heard about Nelson Mandela and the Mandela effect, it was a big thing a couple of years ago, and it introduced this type of idea that we coexist in parallel realities. Now, if you are into quantum surfing, quantum shifting, quantum jumping, you already know that reality is like a movie, and that is rendering parallel versions of reality, and that you have the script, and if you can change your script, you change the movie or manifest a different reality, no matter what the physical reality was presenting, or no matter what people used to say. When you change the script, people start to address you according to your script. So you're the author and the writer of your script. You have million gazillion choices, and you can choose to go in and edit many of those. Simple visualization is enough to program your subconscious, but you can also just take a piece of paper and say, hey subconscious, I'm going to insert these changes to my reality, and make sure that your subconscious understands, which it is intelligent, it can understand, but make sure you just say, hey subconscious, apply these changes to who I am, and therefore manifest me a different timeline. So we exist, and we are not real. We are in a universal console, PlayStation, computer, Krishna computer. It is simulating our reality, and everything is a quantum sculpture. This quantum sculpture is generating potentials which feel like multiple timelines, and then they're always collapsing into our physical experience, so we don't notice the editing. Okay, it is said by some people that every time we blink, there is like an editing, and timeline is coming into your stream, and you blink, and so you don't notice how they are connected together in a sequence. I don't know if this is true, but it sounds cool. So immortality. Now, my personal story about immortality, I have a lot of them actually, but I'm going to just use the most drastic one. This one time I was supposed to fall from a building which was very high, and unexpectedly I would be falling down into the pavement from a 7-story, and my physical body would then be just not so pretty. Instead of falling down, I re-experienced myself in an instant in the middle of my apartment. Okay, so, how did I not fall from a balcony? In that moment, I had the epiphany, ha 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 ha. Something, my innermost self was laughing, and I kind of spoke, you can't die, it's a video game, so it's just like one up. I re-upped in the middle of the apartment. Now, have the people in the previous timeline actually witnessed me dying and I continue living in a different timeline? I wouldn't really explain it because this is very linear. It presumes that there are all these actual realities that are playing simultaneously, but their actual reality potentials that are playing simultaneously, the important one is the one that you locate your consciousness into. Okay, so the experience is real, and all the timelines where you died potentially, or you won the lottery but like you haven't experienced that timeline, they're not. They're all constructed. The one that you serve your consciousness through, where you're having this quantum human experience, that is the important one. Only the experience is real. You, the awareness experiencing stuff, that is real. The rest of the stuff are just dream constructs. Even this one that you're physically experiencing is sort of a simulation or a dream construct, but the main point is what you are experiencing. So, knowing this, in my reality experience, I've been shifting and surfing this quantum potential a lot, and I have been seeing quite radical changes in physical reality, and even objects just showing up, or the whole city would change architecturally from what it used to be. So I'm very open, I'm very used to, just like anything can happen. So still to this day, one of the most drastic experiences that I had is when I've experienced, and on another occasion, my body literally from here just moved there. So that's some distance where I didn't physically cross, but it was this glitch where it's just like you're here and then you're here. And this apparently happened when I was supposed to die. Now, can people decide and actually die? Yeah, sure, that happens too, because it is a decision that we create on a soul level, that we want to survive the accident or die in the accident because we don't feel like we want to be entertained by the experience of life anymore. So it does not necessarily mean that everybody who ever died in an accident continued living in a different timeline. It's actually just people die, and then oftentimes you're supposed to die but you want to continue living, so one up. Now don't try this at home, because if you're not used to soul agreements and you're like editing your script, if you're just like in your baby consciousness and you're still learning to survive in a physical way, don't try to do the Neo, flying from a mountain, and try something simpler. Manifest a quantum shift, or manifest somebody fist bumping you in the street and be like, oh, I manifested somebody, people are just fist bumping me in the street. And then build up to immortality. Or even like, why would you want to test this? Because it's just like more interesting of a theory. I know many people that experienced, oh man, I was supposed to be dead like a couple of times, but I always somehow survive, because the simulation is made from mathematics and there's no coincidences and stuff like this. So this has the philosophical value, contemplative value, and it also has like a safety switch value, because if you decide to live, you're in a mathematical simulation. So if people are shooting bullets all around you and you're like, hey, I want to live, none of the bullets can actually hit you, because the matrix is rendering your choice. And this is what Neo in the Matrix realize when he went against those agents in that Matrix movie, I don't know which part, where he was like, wait, these guys are like banging me up, like, what? And then he just penetrated the Matrix with his will, and like nobody can kill him anymore because he's now faster than the speed of light. It means that his awareness, his will, is quantum jumping through this holographic light spectrum that is creating the experience of reality. And you can do that too. Actually, I've also sort of practiced this every time there was a fuss, a jam, a bar fight, a car crash, or about to like be something, like I would be like, God, yo, like beam me up. And so I would just get transferred into similar situation where everything is cool and everybody's safe. And so you don't need to participate in unfavorable events if you know how to press the button and say, hey, yo, God's awareness, me beyond space-time, like beam me up, like put me in a safe space. Put everybody in a safe space is the way that you can bless yourself or bless people that are around you that might not be aware of this. You can just bless them with this quantum protection, and it will elevate also their script into safety. Okay, so that's you observing reality from beyond space-time. Now, I said you don't have to take my word for it, so you can look for my video, the best and only way to meditate, or 0-point meditation, but I will just jump into it quickly right here. If you want to experience that you are awareness outside of space and time, feel your awareness spatially, and then try to feel in space of your being, where is this awareness projecting from? And you want to imagine in your imagination like a projector that has one point that is projecting your awareness. It will probably feel like it is in your chest or in your head or in behind of your head or behind you. Now you want to go, you want to flip your awareness onto itself. You want to go through that point in your imagination, simple. Then you want to ponder this. When I go through this point where my awareness is projected from, am I now outside of space and time? And when you pondered and found that you are outside space and time, then you want to also just ponder, can I change reality from here effortlessly and insert a different timeline where everybody's safe? And you can ponder infinite more questions, because at that spectrum of observation, you are all-knowing, all-seeing, omnipresent, omnipotent, universal self-consciousness. So that works. And then physically, okay, so also not to take my word for it. If you go into the point where your awareness is projecting from and you go beyond that point, you can also ask, can I sustain my physical body for 700 years, right? And then ponder that and wait for the answer to arise within your intuition or imagination, and find a way to understand it or translate it, write it down. So invoke the infinite self, invoke yourself beyond space and time, and then find out how your body is actually immortal and what are the best ways for you to sustain it for 700 years if you want to play this game. That's it from me, Jovan, Avatar Academy. I hope you have so much quantum fun with this. It's epic, it's awesome, it's amazing, you're amazing, I love you, and there are 2 more fingers but nothing left to say, so I'll just do this. Yeah.